The dark side of Saudi Arabia, what they don't tell you. Number 1. Women are forced into illegal work. Another dark spot in Arab land is the number of prostitution rings that have emerged throughout the years. According to Arab News, unemployed ladies and job-seeking girls were the most common targets of illegal brothel owners in 2014, who posed as recruitment officers for a fictitious organization. They were harassed into joining their prostitution rings with illicit images and videos after they were filmed during forced sexual intercourse. The owners were condemned by the High Office in Riyadh, but that was not the end of the story. Several sex scandals have happened over the years, mostly involving migrant workers. Number 2. Many people in Saudi Arabia are addicted to drugs. The largest drugs market in the Middle East is Saudi Arabia. Not only is Saudi Arabia a producer of methamphetamine, but it has also been implicated in a large number of international drug busts. Authorities from the government are searching for the drug trail, and their top suspect is terrorist networks. What's more alarming is that the majority of drug users in Saudi Arabia are young adults, 12 to 22 years old. Smugglers are now more skilled and conceal the tablets in furniture, water pumps, and other shipments. According to Sharia law, trafficking in illegal drugs carries a death sentence. Number 3. Saving bin Laden's. 24 members of Osama bin Laden's family were removed from the United States on private charter planes just days after 9/11. The sixth Saudi ruler at the time, King Fahd, wrote an urgent note to his embassy in Washington, noting that there were bin Laden children all across America, and ordering them to take measures to safeguard the innocents. Number 4. A different kind of justice. Because there is no legal code in Saudi Arabia and consequently no clear route for convicted criminals to appeal, judges have complete control over punishment. Individual judges just impose punishments based on their own interpretations of the Islamic scriptures, and such sentences are generally upheld. Number 5. Chaperones. Women in Saudi Arabia are not permitted to move any place in public without the presence of a male chaperone, despite the fact that critics from all over the world argue that such behavior is not commanded by Islam. Number 6. All testimonies are not equal. According to Saudi Arab laws, a woman's testimony does not have the same weight as a man's. In a Sharia court, one man's testimony is equal to two women's. Judges may disregard the testimony of non-practicing Muslims or those who do not conform to the correct teaching under the Hanbali interpretation of Sharia law. So, if you're a woman, your evidence is worth half as much as a man's. Furthermore, if you are not a Muslim, your testimony in court may be meaningless. Number 7. Saudi Arabia's female labor force participation rate was roughly 20%, the eighth lowest in the world. In comparison, the female labor force participation rate in the United States is around 47%, Germany's is around 54%, and Japan's is 49%. At the World Economic Forum in 2007, Bill Gates condemned Saudi Arabia's female labor force. When asked if Saudi Arabia might become a large competitive economy by 2010, Gates replied, "Well, you're not going to get near to the top if you're not properly exploiting half the talent in the country." Women were officially allowed to work in locations like lingerie stores in 2012. Previously, women had to deal with some really awkward situations when shopping with male salesmen. Number 8. There was a ban on driving for women. Saudi women have been forbidden from driving automobiles for decades due to the kingdom's rigid interpretation of Sunni Islam. However, on September 26, 2017, the ultra-conservative kingdom declared that women in Saudi Arabia will be allowed to drive for the first time in the summer of 2018. On June 14, 2011, Saudi women get into the rear seat of a car in Riyadh, 3 days before a statewide protest against a driving prohibition. Number 9. Coming out could get you killed. If you are homosexual. For years, homosexual men and women have been imprisoned under the pretext of crimes such as sodomy and dressing as the opposite sex. However, in March 2016, the situation in Saudi Arabia became much more perilous for the LGBTQ population. According to the Saudi publication Auras, prosecutors in the city of Jeddah have now advocated the death penalty for LGBT people who come out publicly. According to a representative for the State Department's Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, the U.S. is aware of these reports, but cannot verify their accuracy.